Grand Risings, and welcome back to my channel. Today is Saturday, I believe. I've been so busy, I hardly can keep up with the days. And my channel is about self awareness, family, and community. As you know, my subscribers know this, and those who have followed me somewhat. I'm going to make it brief because my time is so limited. I'm having to learn to count every second, every minute, every hour. But I just want to briefly talk to you about family matters today. Um, for you who have your dynasty already and your big firm established and all this, you probably can skip this and go on because I'm still everything I do is still in the working, still in a progress, in progressive stage, Um, when you have family meetings, some people don't have family meetings, but family meetings are very important and to establish, it's like an institution. Well, I won't say institution per se, but I'm saying business. Family is business. It really is, and it's very important to have some rules and some things that are understood between you and your team, because your team is going to be leading uh, your corporation. Well, I'm referring to your house's corporation, and because I remember coming up and a lot of people had so much to worry about, like parents. I'm referring to mostly right now. When I say this, there are a lot of people. They had to be concerned about how to keep the business going, the home, and supplies. And so one, if you, and I'm always harping on single parenting, but some single parents really learn how to do a great job. They just organized everything. And my mother was a single parent for so long. I mean, she was married to my father, but that he passed early when we were children, and so that everything, the whole business fell to her. But whether it is a small business or a large business, it is important to have some rules of how you want your business to be ran. Because in every business, you got to have some way to do things orderly, in order that the process will go on. And let me just give you an example. I know most of you already know this. My business is my little, my little house, my little apartment. Well, I had a home, but I no longer have that. And the mortgage had to be paid when I had the house, and things had to be gathered for the house, And a lot of people just take that for granted. Some people are so good with it, they don't really have to think about that, But those things are kind of important, What do you want to spend on the budget for the household each month, each 2 months, or each 3 months, or how often do you want to spend for it? What do you need for the house to make it run smoothly? You understand? And you know that one of the most important things is to have a way of securing income, and that may be work. It may be a small business of your own outside of the home, and that means that you'd have two things to tend to: the house affairs and, coordinating it with the family, And like I said, mommy never, I said mom, she's never, she didn't really have a lot of, we was just people who appreciated life. Mom was someone who just appreciated life, and loving her children was what she did best. But she didn't have family meetings. You see, the reason why I named my channel self-awareness, family, and the community is because you must be aware of yourself first. Do you know that there's stuff in self that you really did not take into account? Like sometimes the way that we do things, and we may lay things around. And I always talk about that on, not always, but I've spoken about it a few times on several videos about how when you have something, you lay it around and you don't really have an order, and I learned this from my pastor's wife. She says everything got a place. And I thought about it. Now, if I had learned that early, man, so much money I could have saved from rebuying stuff that just sit around and deteriorated, like batteries or, just for instance, sometimes you can have combs and put them brushes and put them in places. And I'm still learning how to organize. So that's a good part to start from the basic foundations with the family. Where do we keep things, what order do we keep stuff in, because like I always tell you, or have told you before on some videos, we had a 3-room house and there were 7 girls. Okay, so if you got 3 rooms and you just got a bed in it, there's not much to organize there. But as you grow and mature, as I always say that too, then we learn some things, and some things we did not take into consideration. But I'm trying to hurry up because I've got a very, very, very busy schedule today. So I want to say that that's some of the basic part, but sometimes we miss the basic things in bringing up the children. You understand, our children, and we thought we had included some things, but we were busy trying to survive and take care of ourselves, so we may have left out some things. And so when we grow and, like I say, maybe go off to college as I did, and you were helping all the time, but you come back and you realize that some things had never been put in order because you never really had been trained that, like I said, mother never had those family meetings where she'll say, okay, everybody, today we're going to be talking about finances, and what a budget is like, because if you're working so hard, getting up to go to work and do about, you really just don't always have the time to consider some of the little detailed things as very important in having an institution and raising a family or establishing a dynasty, or legacy, and those things are very important these days. The Bible says that wise Christian people have inheritance for their children's children. You know what I'm saying? So if we, without having a structure or knowing, how we want to establish something, then, there will be probably no legacy, and legacies are, very good because, if you get older and sick or you leave or whatever, you don't have to worry, everything is in order. Everybody knows what to do from there and you see that with a lot of people. I can't call their names now because, like I said, I'm in a hurry, and I usually when I do stuff, I just do impromptu, and you know how that is when you're improvising, okay? But I wanted to just say that starting off with some things in mind, and this will require some praying and meditation because a lot of times I miss stuff when I don't meditate and when I don't pray and fast, and it really comes into play all the more because when you're fasting, you really you're not really worried about the material so much, like how we can worry about material things. So but the material things may come into place because the Most High may show you some things. The Lord may say, oh, this or that, he'll show you stuff. Oh yes, indeed, yeah, I promise you. If you meditate and pray, you will hear and see things that you never even thought about. That's a good thing. That's where fasting is very, very, very good. And well, I wanted to say that when I started off about establishing a good order from the beginning. But now when we miss it, we have to come back and fill in the little spots, just like when we were going to school. If we missed a certain subject and was out too many days or whatever, that's something that we had to pick up later and find a way how to incorporate it into our, the way that we're going to do things, the way we decide to do things. So, since I'm in a hurry, I apologize. Thank you for taking your time out, though, with me. But I will say that you have to start from where you are to get to where you think you want to go. So, therefore, a vision in your head about what you want to establish and how you want that to look. That would be a good place to start, and that would be like if you want to establish a family business, or if you just want the family to have the understanding, which I taught my girls. My girls every day, I just drilled them on working because during that time I wasn't quite aware of how important it would be for some of us to have our own businesses. Even though I had a little construction business with my second late husband, that God did it. But so if you wanted to establish something, a business or whatever, that's something that can come into play. But mostly just how a family, and that I would suggest to do some studies on those families who have done well. You know what I'm saying? In businesses and all of that. That would be a place to start too. And if I had more time, I could probably go into more things, about how that structure looks, a family structure, because I'm still learning some things myself. I'm still doing some research and all of that because, I love me some books. A little too much maybe, but I love learning that, and I will always love that. That's me. So to recap, the knowing yourself, because see, yourself could have missed something that you have to go back and straighten out. For one thing, if you didn't do things right, you just got to be honest with your children. Hey, I was young, I was learning, I didn't know myself. Let's get this straight. Let's do it this way. And what do you think about this? What have you done about this? What did you learn about this? And what did you see others doing? And what is, let's work out a strategy here of how we can build a better family connection. May not work out with everyone just in the beginning because there are other things that can interfere, that comes into play, okay? And like I said, I got such a busy day, so please forgive me for cutting this off without going into, some of I wouldn't be able to give you full details. I could only give you some examples of what some family structures are, but you can do that. Yeah, that's your homework. Your homework is to study, to look at some family structures. You can start with something like James Dobson's book, focusing on the family type stuff. He does that. I think Gary Smiley and his son Greg Smalley. Oh, wait a minute, might be getting them backwards. The names backwards, but the Smileys, they do family stuff. And let me see, John Trent, and there's many of them. But if you just look up family structure, family business, and then you can learn a little bit more about how family should be, organized and everything. And those of you've already got it, you just kind of skip this lesson here and give yourself an A, okay? I told you we're gonna always laugh about something before the day is over with. Hey, I know I didn't do a really good job on doing, everything, the way that I wanted to do it this morning. But I want you to have a wonderful Saturday. We have a little rain here. I think it has slacked up a little bit, so I won't have to go out here in the rain. And it's pretty early here, so uh, I'm gonna have to go now and catch up with you later on. So thank you for stopping by, and be blessed. There's a blow kiss for you. Bye bye. I'll talk to you another time. Bye bye.